Assalamualaikum students. Before going to our educational topic, please subscribe my channel Muntazar Mehdi Science TV on YouTube. Press the like button and share this lecture to your friends and classmates who have no access to it to add in their science education. And those students that are preparing privately can benefit from our channel very effectively. Let's come back to our topic that are steroids, sterols and cholesterol. So next students we shall clear our concept about steroids, sterols and cholesterol. Let's start with steroids. That what are steroids? Dear students, about steroids, some students consider that steroids is the single compound, but not. It is not so. Steroids is not the single compound, but it includes a family of compounds, many compounds. So it is the name of a family of compounds. Students, in other words, we can also say that many compounds come under the name of steroids. So how can we identify a steroid from a group of compounds? Students, if there are a number of compounds, then how can we know that either a particular compound is steroid or not? Dear students, for any compound to become a steroid, that compound must possess a specific structure, that is CPPP. C triple P. Students, what is this? Dear students, C triple P is the abbreviation of the Cyclo Pentano perhydrophenethrene. So this is the short name of Cyclo Pentano perhydrophenethrene. C for cyclo, P stands for pentano, this P for perhydro and this P is for phenanthrene. So this CPPP or cyclopentano perhydrophenanthrene is the main and major structural unit of the steroid. Dear students, as steroids are naturally occurring lipid soluble molecule. Students, steroids are not polar solvent, polar substances soluble molecule, not, but these are lipid soluble molecules and are soluble only in non-polar solvents. They are actually composed of four fused carbon rings that forms a rigid structure, a hard structure. Students, three of the rings are six-sided, six-cornered, but the fourth ring is five-sided or five-cornered. Dear students, all of the four rings of a steroid molecule contain a total number of how many carbon atoms? Let's see. After knowing the specific structure, now we try to write the actual structure of a steroid. That would be the main actual structure of a steroid. Students, for this, we write one six-cornered ring, another six-cornered ring that is attached to the first six-cornered ring. Now, students, here are two six-cornered rings. Third six-cornered ring will be present here at this upper side. Terminally, students, a five-cornered ring is present here attached with the third ring. So students, three six-cornered, six-sided rings and only one five-cornered ring is present in a steroid. You can name it A, B, C and D rings. Students, this five-cornered ring is called pentino. As pentino is present in cyclic form, so we can call it cyclopentano perhydrophenanthrene. Cyclo stands for cyclic form pentino because it has five carbons. But students, these remaining three rings are collectively called perhydrophenanthrene. These three ABC rings are assigned this name perhydrophenanthrene. Consequently, students, if this structure is present in any compound, then that particular compound will be called as a steroid. So there are a number of compounds with different names are called steroids, like cholesterol, different hormones like estrogen, testosterone, vitamins like vitamin D and bile salts. Students, these are different biologically active steroids. All these steroids possess this specific structure. That's why we say that cholesterol is a steroid. Estrogen hormone is also a steroid. Aldosterone, that is the hormone of adrenal gland, is also a steroid. Bile salts, vitamins D, also steroids. Why students? Why? All these contain this main and key structure that is known by the name of Cyclo Pentano perhydrophenethrene. Students, whole this is the definition introduction of the steroids. Next, we see the importance of steroids. Dear students, most of us have heard the word steroids into different fields, into special fields. First one in health field and second in sports field. Students in health field, doctors and the physicians suggest some special drugs to the patients, mostly in severe conditions. That specific drugs mostly are life saving and are called steroids, which is the health related importance because mostly patients are given steroids for to save their precious lives. Next, in sports field, students, some people use steroids to upgrade, to improve their body functioning, to boost their body functioning. For example, the bodybuilders, the athletes sometimes take steroids which help to boost their body work and their body work become faster and faster. They get participate in some big tournaments and competitions and maybe they win also. But students, the second use of the steroids is harmful and is illegal as it causes very dangerous effects for their health. Students, if they will use steroids, then they will improve and boost their body functioning. They will have a nice body style as well as a nice athlete body stamina. But later on, students, it will cause severe and most dangerous effects like stomach problems, kidney issues. That's why students, for the sports and athlete purpose, the use of steroids is highly banned. But still people use it that are of very few numbers. Next, students, after understanding steroids, now we try to understand the sterol. That what is the thing sterol? Students, answer is that if the steroid contain an OH group, a hydroxyl group, then this structure will call a sterol. For example, if we write a hydroxyl group here, then now this compound will be changed from steroid to sterol. Without OH, students, without hydroxyl group, this structure is a steroid. But in the presence of hydroxyl group, this structure is a sterol. Let's see a very common and unique example of sterol. What is this? Students, try to guess. Not new, then I tell you. Students, the most common example of sterol is cholesterol. The cholesterol is the essential part of the cells of the animals, including humans' blood and the cell membranes. So it performs many functions which we will discuss later. Students, it is often said that make sure the use of garlic in your daily routine life so that it could minimize the level of cholesterol in your blood. So garlic is utilized to control the cholesterol level in the blood because students its higher level is dangerous. So now we try to understand the structure of cholesterol and also we will memorize the shortcut way of how to get the structure of cholesterol. Students, as till to this time we have known that the cholesterol is a steroid, a sterol. So these four rings must present because cholesterol is a steroid. So first point is that a cholesterol must has all of these four rings, three these and fourth is these. At the second number, students, a cholesterol molecule receives some changes. Which changes? Let's see. The first change is of numbering because the numbering is so important. Students, all of these four rings of cholesterol has 17 carbon atoms, one carbon at every corner of every ring. So now we will arrange the 17 carbons of a cholesterol, one carbon keeping at every corner of every ring. So starting from here, students, we put the carbons in this manner like the C form. Then again like the C form, inverse C form. Then we will write the next carbons in this fashion and again like C form, C form. How students? Let's see. Students, this is our start point. So here we write carbon number 1. Here carbon number 2, 3, 4, 5 till here. One C shape is completed. Then inverse C shape is started like this. Carbon number 6, 7, 8, 9 and here comes the carbon number 10. So 10 carbon numbers are put in the first to six cornered rings like this. Now we will assign next carbon numbers like this fashion. So after 10, here is carbon number 11, here 12, 13, 14, here 15, here 16 and finally here will be the 17th carbon number. Students, we will not turn here because this corner already has carbon number 8. So students, after carbon number 14, here is 15, here 16 and finally here is carbon number 17th. By fulfilling the condition of first C inverse C going towards students upward and then following this C by this fashion. Dear students, the 17th numbers of carbons in the four fused ring of cholesterol are written because every corner of this CPPP structure has a carbon. Carbon, 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 carbon. All the corners have carbons. And students, these are the bonds between the two carbons. This is the bond, this is the bond, and this is also the bond between the two carbons. Students, most of the students don't know this concept. I hope now you have clear your concept about the corners and the lines, that every corner represents a carbon and every line represents a bond, a sigma bond. Okay. Students, after numbering, the next changes are number 2, the presence of a hydroxyl group at the carbon number 3. Next, the presence of a double bond between the carbon number 5 and 6. This is the double bond. One is sigma and the second is pi bond. So will become a double bond. Students, next change at the carbon number 10th, one methyl group is written and at the carbon number 13th, one more methyl group is added. So two methyl groups are added at the 10th and 13th carbon numbers. If this is carbon number 17th, then students, this is 18th and this must be the carbon number 19th. What is next change? Students, next change is the presence of an 8 carbon side chain. So there must present an 8 carbon side chain at the carbon number 17th here. Students, how can we write that 8 carbon side chain? We will write a W here like this. That is a very easy way to write the side chain. Okay students, after writing this W, we will write the sign of greater than here and a sign of smaller than here. Now we will write this form at the carbon number 17 like this. Again, each corner represents a carbon atom and every line a bond. Students, now in this shape, here is carbon number 20 at this point. Here is carbon number 21, here 22, here 23, 24, 25, 26 and finally here will be the carbon number 27. So we have a total of 27 carbon numbers. Students, the carbon number 21 is in the form of CH3 methyl group and 26 and 27 carbon numbers are also in the form of CH3. So we will write CH3, CH3. This carbon and this carbon, both of these carbons have 3 bonds. So both of these receive only one hydrogen. Students, whereas the remaining carbons are in the form of CH2 because these also have 2 bonds. Next, students, how many methyl groups are present in a cholesterol? Count. Students, count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Students, yes, you are right. 5 methyl groups are present in a cholesterol molecule. Dear students, after whole of this structural form, the molecular formula of the cholesterol is C27 as you have seen. H46 as hydrogens have not been shown here. But students, there is a very surprising thing that will amaze you. It is that in the molecular formula of the cholesterol there is present only one oxygen. Students, this thing is surprising now. This single oxygen is present here. So its molecular formula is C27H46 and only one oxygen. Now students, we have got the structural form of the cholesterol. Dear students, there is a question that why we call the cholesterol as a cholesterol. Answer is that this word is made up of two words, chole and sterol. This chole, students, is taken from the bile, but sterol, as we know that when a steroid has a hydroxyl group. Students, as cholesterol was first discovered in the bile because bile is a liquid hormone present in the gallbladder, that is a sac-like structure just below the liver. This gallbladder, students, stores bile salts which are helpful in the digestion of the fats. So because cholesterol is the liquid hormone first discovered in the bile, so it was assigned this specific name cholesterol. You can also call it as solid sterol or insoluble solid sterol. Dear students, as we have done the structure of steroids, sterol and cholesterol, so next we will see some important functions of the cholesterol in the animals as well as in the plants. Students, what are the functions of the cholesterol? Let's see. Students, cholesterol performs many important functions. First one is cholesterol acts as insulating cover for the transmission of the nerve impulses inside of our brain. Students, neurons are present and in the neurons there happens the flow of current, the flow of signals which we call the nerve impulses which bring or send messages from one side of the neuron to the other side. So when the slight current is following, it needs some insulation. Students, that insulation is provided by the specific thing. Students, which is that? Try to guess. Tell me. Students, try to tell me. Yes, you are right. Students, that insulation to the flowing current is provided with the help of the cholesterol. That is the first important function of the cholesterol. Second is related to the membranous structure and the functions. Students, this point is very important as we have known that the cholesterol is present in our cell membrane. Suppose this is our cell which has double lipid membrane, double lipid layer which is called a bilayer. As students, in the previous video lecture, I have described that in the cell membrane, these special lipids are present in large amount, which we named as phospholipids, which have head and tail regions. These phospholipids, students, are arranged in this manner in the cell membranes. Although proteins are also present in the form of active transport proteins, but students, cell membrane also has phospholipids. In addition to these structures, students, it also has cholesterol, which performs very important functions, dual function. First number, students, at very high temperature, namely when there is very high temperature, there happens a chance the membrane becomes fluid, it will flow. If the membrane gets flow, then students, all the materials of the cell will discharge, release. As a result, the stability of the cell will be disturbed. So students, during high temperature, the cholesterol will make it slightly solidified, so that in the presence of cholesterol, the inner material of the cells will not flow. Okay, so it helps in changing the melting point of the lipids. Next, students, at the low temperature, there is a chance that cell membrane will become the thick, hard. Students, remember this important point, that we don't want that our plasma membrane to be hard or liquid, but it to be in the middle form, slightly liquid and slightly harder. But at the low temperature, when plasma membrane becomes hard, when it is hard, then the function of the cell will also disturb. So students, the movement of the substances will be prevented. So students, to prevent the solidness of the cell membrane, the cholesterol molecules are at just in between the phospholipids, and that cholesterol molecules will not let the phospholipids to become adjust with one another, because if the cholesterol molecules become arranged with one another, then it will make the whole membrane, students, the whole membrane solid, hard, but cholesterol will disturb them. Students, cholesterol will not let these phospholipids to orient in such manner. That's why cholesterol presence prevent our cell membrane from becoming solidified or liquid. Students, that is the very prominent function of the cholesterol in the cell membrane. Next, students, third function of the cholesterol is the synthesis of the some very important compounds, some very prominent compounds. For these compounds, it acts as a precursor and help in the preparation of some specific compounds. That compounds, students, which are these compounds? Let's see. Dear students, if we have a cholesterol, then we can get many compounds. The first one is the bile salt, which is present in the gallbladder and helps in the digestion of the fats, lipids. Secondly, students, it can prepare hormones such as sex hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Next, students, adrenocorticotropic hormones are also prepared by the cholesterol, which are present in the top of the kidney. Students, all these hormones are prepared by the cholesterol. That's why we can say that the hormones are mostly steroids, belong to the steroids category of the lipids. So consequently are called steroidal hormones, protein hormones. Next, students, vitamins are also got from the cholesterol, like vitamin D. In animals, students, vitamin D is got from the cholesterol. So we can say that the cholesterol plays very basic, a key role in the synthesis of all these substances. So it is a very important steroid, important sterol. Next, students, we study a specific term that is related to the cholesterol, polyprenoid. Students, what is this? As poly means many and prenoids units. Prenoids represent units. What are these units? Students, these are 5 carbons unit, that is called isoprene. Isoprene has, students, a specific formula, that is CH double bond C towards upward. Here is attached a methyl group. Then again CH double bond CH2. This 5 carbon molecule, students, is called isoprene. Like 2, 3, 4 and more such units when combined, when many such units, students, combine, then those units change into another compound named as polyprenoid. The example of the polyprenoid is plant derived vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, and also provitamin A. Dear students, this provitamin A is also called beta carotenoids, that is actually a polyprenoid. Students, I am thinking that now a question can come in your minds that why we are discussing the polyprenoids here after the topic of steroids and cholesterol. Students, its answer is that polyprenoids is related to the cholesterol. It is not a steroid but only related to the cholesterol. Why, students? Why? What is the reason of it? Answer is that cholesterol is made up of the isoprene units. That's why polyprenoids are related to the cholesterol steroids. But students, memorialize that these are not steroids, these are not cholesterol, but only related to the cholesterol steroid. This is the reason that we study polyprenoid with steroids. That's why we also conclude these vitamins A, D, E, and K in the topic of the lipids. So students, this is our topic, the classification of the lipids, third part, during which we have studied about steroids, sterol and cholesterol along with polyprenoids. But students, here is one thing more that has been left, which is that, dear students, in the structure of the cholesterol, due to the presence of this hydroxyl group, students, it gives some polar characteristic to the cholesterol. So it will make cholesterol amphiphilic. Therefore, it can react with water as well as with oil. But students, its capability and percentage to soluble in the oil is greater because it can't soluble in water. It can only, students, only interact with water due to the presence of this hydroxyl group. But it can fully interact with the oil. So as it can interact with the both water and oil, so cholesterol becomes amphiphilic and show amphiphilic behavior. Lastly, students, according to the short summary, the steroids are those non-polar organic compounds which have a specific structure, which is that structure, that is cyclopentano perhydrophenethrene ring structure. Students, if we add a hydroxyl group to this CPPP ring, then it will become a sterol. The most common example of a sterol is cholesterol, which also has a specific CPPP ring, that is cyclopentano perhydrophenethrene ring, along with 8 carbon side chain and 2 methyl groups with a double bond. So students, some changes happen in the steroid structure to form a cholesterol structure. Students, we have also discussed the importance of the cholesterol and the amphiphilic behavior of the cholesterol. At the end, students, I want to encourage you that please identify your responsibility for your country and the nation, because students, you are the future of your country and the nation. So please contribute your positive role in your nation building and the country's progress and the development. That is, students, your very important duty and very important responsibility for you. Finally, students, many thanks for watching this your video.